Yo, what's up, everybody?
Hey,
Can you see who's missing? He's here.
I know he's got a watch.
Need to give him an alarm clock on there for the show.
Well, he's
What's up,
busy.
Eddie?
So he's busy, so I guess that's good.
It's getting there, man. Summer is right around the corner. Oh, we're April already.
Summer's here for us.
By a few seconds.
Yeah, we made it.
What? Have you been staying busy, Jake?
So, fellas, how's everybody doing out there in the world of beautiful people, visuals? Kurt, Adrian, you guys look great.
I shaved for the show. Can you tell?
Bro, that thing is smoother than a baby's ass. Or Riley's nuts, either one. We're keeping pretty busy. Fortunately, it's really nice.
Good.
For the consistency aspect. Just got to fill the schedule, keep it that way.
Hey, it's going to be a lot easier here in the coming weeks.
Dude, right? Our schedule or our weather next week is, I want to say, like creeping in the 90s.
We have that today already, I think.
Dude. I did
it's like high 80s, but that the heat index is like
right?
It's like right there at 90.
Yeah, I did a compressor the other day, and I was fucking. I'll have a video out, and my face, I'm just red. Like I was like, "Fuck, summer's here!" Like I'm not ready because like doing the repairs during like the nice weather and everything, it's good, but man, it's gonna suck ass now. Like service call, install.
Yeah, wait till you're doing a duct job in an attic.
No, I ain't doing no. We done on the ducks until at least October.
Yeah, you got those out of the way already, right?
Fuck yeah, dude. And as well as telling people, like when I go quote them, end of March, that's what you get. And so that's why we banged out those 3 the last 2 weeks of March, fortunately.
Yeah, man, because our weather's been up and down. Like yesterday, I was telling Kurt, it was like 70s. It was real nice, but today we had to be on the roof, and it was like borderline like 90. But we got everything done early in the morning, and I got to go after work to go leave a deposit on the wrap. So I'm getting that process going.
Let's go. You didn't send us the...
Did you have any photos to share with us?
Yeah.
No, it's what I do in my Photoshop. It's all just paint bucket together.
Unbelievable. He doesn't want to show it. That's what it is.
It's not professional. It's not I'm gonna let the guy, when the guy runs it back to me,
right on,
then I'll show it.
Okay.
Because I sketch everything and then I send it off. That's usually how I do everything.
Send us the rough draft, bro. I want to see it.
Well, you know what? I might do a video because I was gonna do.
Yeah, that'd be a great video. Yeah.
Like today, we did an exhaust change out, exhaust hood, and then I went to go, handle that with the deposit and talk to the guy about the wrap, get the measurements, all that stuff they do. And I was like, man, I'll probably show. Maybe I'll do a video. Like I said, I'll probably show the rough draft of how I do it, and then send it to him, and then what it looks like coming back, and then what the van comes out looking like. Because people have asked me about the logos that I do, right? The HVAC KNIGHTS, the one that I've done for my stuff. It's all me sketching it out. And it's funny, it's kind of hilarious if you watch the before and after of like my sketch, which looks like shit, and then I send it out to somebody and it looks amazing, after they're done with it. So I was like, I might show that in a video or something.
I think that would be sick though.
Hey, at least you're doing now. When I got my wrap, I just gave them ideas and logos, and they came up with the rest of it.
Nice.
I don't know. I've always done everything since my dad started the business, but it's because I've been good with computers. I just left this comment because there's a guy that's been trolling like ambassadors and influencers, on Instagram. Just like all his content has been bashing about them and
like
stuff. And
the white dude that's like
the plumber, I think. He's a
yeah,
plumber.
dude. He took shots at dirty.
I don't know if we talked.
Money.
I don't know if we talked about it or not, but
we did.
Well, I hadn't run into this fella. I must not be up on his radar.
He just makes fun of everybody. But I don't know. He sounds a bit bitter and stuff. But
very.
I left a comment just saying like, well, look, some people do love doing more than one thing, right? Because I grew up around a lot of technology. Like I was into that kind of stuff. I was into drawing, sketching, and I like designing stuff. I like doodling, like flames and different things, you know, in the notebook while, you know, you're in class, you know, you're just
all day long. Yeah.
So that turned in, or that helped me later when my dad opened up his business, and then he didn't have anything as far as the logo and you know, van lettering and all that. So I did all that stuff, and I've been doing it ever since. So that's something that I like to do. And I was like, just what happens that now I can make some money, right? It turns into a content creation thing where you're like on YouTube or whatever it is, making some, you know, making some change and stuff. And he was nice to me. He just said, you know, you make money. When he said you make multiple incomes based on your knowledge and skills, right? That's all he told me. He didn't come at me.
Okay. Yeah. You have to check it out, Kurt. I saw it because it was in the troll like thread that we have, like our message group, and they were just like, guys like, oh, it's dinky hands, dirty money or some shit, like saying something like, oh, I remember that was cool. I used to wear the polos with the alligators too, guys. The shirts, that all that stuff, that'll be dead in the water, things like that. But I'm like, no, there's no possible way, because if you got people like Curtis rocking it right now, if you representing discount from Krauss 10, like, nah, dude, it'll never die. Legends never die. Or how, what was that shit? The Sandlot. What was the quote? Anybody?
Oh yeah.
Heroes live forever. Legends never die. Way off.
We made, mechanical environments in here. We made our logo in Microsoft Paint. I used to do that too. So I upgraded. I have a bootleg Photoshop on my computer, and that's where I do it now.
That's the way to go, though. I want to see it start to finish, though, from conception to fucking final product, you know?
Yeah, but I can't wait because we're going to get that done. I had to change it drastically because I think I mentioned to you, there's one other company that has almost the same style of van, and they get, even my dad saw it, he's like, what the hell? That looks like one of ours going down the street. And the flame, instead of being orange, it's like blue, like a light blue or something. And then I just realized another company, I think I mentioned this last time, but another company that's really big around here, they went from like an old school looking style, right? It was, you can tell it was like when they started or something, modernized it, and it's the same angular, you know, colors, but instead of like the two blues, it's like green, white, and blue. Same, at the same exact angle, and instead of the flame in the back, it's like their big, it's like a C like logo that they have. I was like, damn. So now I got to change it up. So I changed it like drastically, and it's going to be full color and everything.
You're influencing these people.
I can't. Yeah, I mean, I got the idea offline, right? Like I looked through different images and try to piece together something that I like. And like I said, I'll Photoshop it together, and I'm like, here, this is like what I want. You know, I told the guys that do the wrap, like, just make it nice, right? Like, make it look good. And this time I was like, damn, I got to start all over again. And I just redid the whole thing. And it's like, we might go with like a blue and a black, or like a blue and a dark gray. I don't know. I'm going to see what he comes up with. Hopefully he can get back to me tomorrow.
When I got my first wrap, with 2010. Nobody around here had a wrap. Nobody.
Yeah, that's what happened too around here. Like nobody had them, and now like the past like few years, like everybody wraps.
Yep. It's the easiest way to do it.
No, it's awesome, and you can tell, like if you can see it a mile away, you know, even better. That's why I'm trying to. My main concern is the name real big and the number real big, right? Like have that plastered on there, and I'm gonna add the social media. Like I'll put the reliable handle on there so they can go look up the social media stuff. kind of like Kurt. I like the way you did it with the peel back on the HVAC guy to go watch on YouTube. Because I mean that's
Thank
good
you.
marketing there, right? You got your big presence online with your company. I'm trying to mesh the two together.
For sure.
As far as helping out my business, my YouTube presence hasn't really done that.
No, you already got your market locked down, though. You know what I mean? Like that's probably something like it's not as saturated like where you are. Probably like you already have like your clients like locked in. But like
you're too busy when it gets hot.
Yeah, my big ones I do.
That's good, man. That's solid.
No, I'm just trying to mesh them a little bit and focus more on the work stuff. I did start like a work page on Instagram just to have like not like a bunch of random stuff like on mine, but like have all the work photos on there. For sure. And if anybody looks this up, have all that. I'm working with a local. Did you record Jake with them? With the I think my episode just came out, but like I'm with that marketing team trying to get more on that side of things because I know nothing about like marketing and all that kind of stuff.
It's fun. That stuff's intriguing too. Like we're running ads and all that shit. We just got the website up, but it's very fucking generic. And like we reported back to the guy, it's got like clip art pictures of fucking dudes that aren't us. So we like send out postcards and stuff like that with our pictures or our faces, like we're next to each other, like, hey, it's the same company, changing names, but like we have this thing coming up because obviously we want to be big on community and family and all that. We got gonna get like our wives and our kids together. We're gonna do a big thing, and because we got in this big group by us that has I want to say it's like 28,000 members in it, and they like you got to pay to get into it, obviously, and then like they'll post X amount of times per week, and like it's nice. And so we'll get the families together, like, hey, family owned and operated still, and veteran because he's a veteran, and we got really big avenues we can pull from to kind of like trajectory. It's exciting. That stuff excites me too, as much as the technical stuff. But we're here.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy because I know nothing about that stuff.
Man, I read a whole book on search engine optimization, developed my own website, kept it at the top ranking for like 5-6 years, longer than that.
You did?
Yeah, I did it all by myself.
My man.
And then I got to where it didn't help me any.
That's what I always tell these people that come to me, because I get a bunch of emails from people that want to help me with my marketing, SEO, all that stuff. I was like, it's not really a big importance to me, but I just want an online presence. And I told this guy too that I'm working with, I'm like, my main priority is a website, and if they can book calls off the website, and then we'll start integrating like other stuff, because a lot of people now they want to text or leave a message or whatever it is, and then and that helps us too because we can get back to them because we're usually busy. But that's the way things are now. Like everybody's texting or doing anything like that. I think some websites you can do like a chat thing.
Yeah, we have.
There's a bunch of different ways to do it. So I told them, I was like, I don't really care too much about like leads or whatever they promise you and stuff. I was like, I just want a nice looking website that somebody sees our van or somebody Google's like commercial refrigeration or whatever they're Googling. They go to a website and it's like, wow, right? That's my most important thing that I'm going to get from it.
Yep.
I took my website completely down and like on my Google business landing page where it has a space for your website.
Yeah.
It has my YouTube page there.
That works too. I mean, as much as you have going on over there,
it's been more successful than my web page ever was.
Yeah,
that's a good one too because of the way you do your videos. Like, they're very like personal. I don't know how to call it. Right? Like Kurt through his videos, right? And how he works and what he does for the customers and all that. So that's great. For that, that's why I'm trying to post more and then show more of the day to day, but that's going to take me a while. Still waiting on you, Jake. I thought you were going to start on the first.
Yeah, so I did. I got like 4 videos. I filmed a video each day this week. But the first video was like, I'm editing it. The other 3, dude, I just fucking hit record and I just put the bitch on a tripod and I'm walking and I set it up. I'm like, I'm not editing it. It's just gonna be me talking and working. I'm gonna see how those do. The first one's this compressor job. And I got a compressor job, mini split install, condenser fan motor, and a blower motor. So might not start until this Monday, but it might not be like every day, or it might be tonight. I don't fucking know. But I'm still editing the first one. It's been busy. Like I get home and like it's like this time of day, and then like dinner, and then the kids and the wife, and then we go to bed pretty early, and then we gotta get up and take the kid. You know what I mean? So
busy life.
Yeah, busy life, man. So priorities for that right now are just doing that stuff, and then like that's why the other ones I just recorded. And they're like 20-minute long. I'm like, screw it, dude, and we'll just fucking throw that shit out there.
Yeah, I'm just recording, and even if it's a small, like today's, it's not going to be super long. That's why I'll probably just post the day, right? Like it's like we did a exhaust hood in the morning, and then I kind of had the rest of the day to do the wraps and get some emails sent out and kind of that kind of stuff. Oh, yeah, but I'll just record, post it, see what happens.
You come across interesting stuff all the time, though. I made a Spanish video today that I'm going to put up eventually, but the furnace and the coil were down in a basement, but it was really odd. They had an access underneath the stairwell. You open up the access, and then there's a hole that goes down, and it's got a wooden ladder that leads you down in the bottom.
Bro, that's Buffalo Bill, bro. Get out of there.
That's a dungeon down there.
And the people they said, I promise we're not going to kidnap you.
Yeah, right down in there. Be like, I need you. All right, and you need to send a text to your wife if I disappear. It wasn't suicide. Like some dumb shit.
Oh my god.
So that's like the guys that work in the basements. They're always afraid that they're gonna get locked in there, because you go down the stairs, you might hear like the door lock behind you.
I worked in one similar to that. This is when I was in Maryland. It was an old farmhouse, and like it was a cutout in the floor that you had to pick up and go under, and it was like 2 levels down. You needed a 6-footer to get down into the other section. And it was there was a horizontal laying air handler. Now, granted, it was all, I guess they dug it and they poured concrete. It was pretty nice, but it was just sketchy as fuck. Like, I was like, man, so Kurt made it out alive.
Well, it was an interesting little setup they had there.
Did you record it?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I guess
he said
they have replaced the thermostat because they thought that was the problem. Realized that wasn't the problem.
It's the batteries. That's what the problem.
No,
Go ahead. So what was the problem?
During the winter,
was it a nest?
During the winter, the flame rollout tripped.
Mm-hmm.
And that wouldn't let anything come on, and the blower was running constantly. And the flame rollout was tripped. This is another story. The flame rollout tripped because the flue pipe was ducted into a chimney, and the chimney was full of soot and ashes. It had piled up enough where it couldn't exhaust.
Oh my gosh.
It was full of coal, actually.
No shit.
Yeah.
The best type of heat I've ever had.
But that's what it was.
Dang.
We got a lot of people in the chat. Jason, Brian, Blogger. What's up, Brett? East Coast. Subcool HVAC is in the house.
The man, the myth.
Sam brings up the there was an HVAC championship the Service Titan one. Did you guys know about that one? There's like a competition thing.
I saw it on YouTube with a 44-minute video.
I haven't seen it yet. They did.
I didn't watch it though. I probably should.
Okay. And he was like, it was 44 minutes. It was the 44 minutes.
Yeah, that's a thing now. I think I saw like Ben Tactical posting about it or something. I never saw it though.
we use Service Titan, so I'm going to have to hit them up and be like, hey, what's up with this? You know what I mean?
Do you want to be on their, what is it on TV? He said CBS, no? You want to be on TV, everybody judging your work?
I give 2 fucks, bro. My work is not the best. I don't care. Like, I know I'm not that damn good. Like, it's.
Yeah, that's the other thing with me posting. If I do post more often, it's like today, the exhaust hood.
Mm-hmm.
It did not match up right, but we made it work,
Dude, that's real life. Like everybody's shit you always see is just picture perfect. Like, yeah, of course, like it looks fucking great. But guess what? Nobody shows that shit starting up and it's all fucked up because you wired it wrong and backwards, or you know what I mean? you didn't. Who gives a fuck? Like, that's the shit that doesn't get shown.
I was going to tell you about one that I just posted. Was it today?
The blower motor?
So what now?
I thought you had the one with like the motor wouldn't turn on or something.
The condenser fan motor wasn't running. Well, I get there.
How many zeros? 40,000.
Enough. I could retire on that, bud. that's my end goal right there. That's my fucking end goal, son. I'm out.
Well, I was going to tell you that I found that the high pressure limit had gone bad. It was open for no reason. And it wasn't allowing the condenser to come on. But I realized I'm filming this, so I can't just bypass it. I've got to fix it.
Yeah, like shit. Nah, dude.
I've told people that. I mean, it's not like we weren't doing good work before, but it's like
we're gonna come back and fix this right. No, you ain't, motherfucker. Yeah, we'll come back.
No, but it makes you more conscious about little things, right? Little things that you might not have thought about before.
The job we were doing that mini split for, it was the doctor, and it's Q buddy, and he was just like, let me just tell you about Jake a little bit. He does do YouTube, yada yada yada. He's like, and the doctor guy was like, that just kind of reiterates the fact, like, hey, you got somebody at least quality enough to put their shit out there, you know what I mean, and working on your stuff, because again, everybody's not perfect, bro. Like, the world isn't perfect. Like you said, you got to jump something out, bypass it to make it run. Hey, you might have to turn your breaker off and on all night just because I got this bitch running for you, and I'll be back tomorrow. But it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, it just happens.
Yeah, I stopped caring about like the little comments about that kind of stuff. It's like, whatever, dude. Like, real world scenario, if you can get that, like, I work on freezers and stuff. If I can get them by overnight or whatever it is, like, they're gonna be super happy.
And realistically, those are probably the more helpful videos, because in the pinch, that's when people are pulling out their phones and like looking like, oh my god, what can I do? Oh shit. Problem is, like, at least when I like do my videos, I don't title it to where like what's going on, in a sense, I guess. Like, you
I don't
search, like, bypassing a low pressure switch or something, like, you know what I mean?
I don't either. I title mine and put on in the thumbnail to kind of leave it as like a little mystery so people will watch it.
Yeah.
So like, I might say, hey, there's a problem here, but I don't tell you what the problem is.
Yeah, you gotta figure it out. You gotta at least have some sort of mechanical explanation of the way things operate,
Yeah, like that video. I did a video, but it's part of a bigger video that I haven't edited yet, about the contactor, right? Checking the coils because I had a short in one of them. That one is actually a good one. I didn't spoil anything because I ended up having a whole lot more problems than that.
After the contactor, yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah. So that, I got messages and comments about it, and I think I even looked it up because I was like second guessing myself, because I've had some that I showed one that was like 4.9 or something like that ohms on the coil, and I was like, I remembered that brand has given me that reading before, even on a new one out of the box, right?
Right.
So I went and looked it up because somebody was like, no, that's a short. I was like, well, I don't remember. It's like a used one, so maybe it was shorted out. And even on Brian Orr's video on contactor coils, he said anything under 6 he would consider bad. And then somebody else, I think it was what's his name, HVAC Slayer, the Jumper King. was reading contactor coils as part of a PM, and he was getting 4.5 ohms, and it was the same exact contactor that I showed that had 4.9, right? And I was like, I knew it wasn't crazy. Like, that's the reading you get with those. I don't know why. I don't know. Somebody brought up Ohm's law and like all this other stuff. I was like, I don't go that far.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't go that far. I just know if it's good enough, you get a good resistance. If you don't have any, like a short is like 0 point something. And that's a short. So that's just the way I do things. And that's the way I do my videos too. It's like, this is what I find. I don't know everything. I don't know the science behind it, but this is bad, right? Change that out.
I typically
this is bad. This is good.
Yeah. 10 to 20 is like, I'm like, okay, this is my range. And then obviously if you go there and like, you got like a short, like a transformer blue, well, there you go. And then you go check it. But that's my range. Or it could be like 8 to fucking 22. Like, you know what I mean?
Brett would know.
Yeah, inductive load. Exactly, bro. That's what I was gonna say next, but I didn't. Because I didn't want to get all fucking, into it.
Brett, if you want to come on, just hit me up. I'll send you the.
He wants to get all technical, and then I'm gonna look like a dumbass again. And he's like, "Oh, well, you're fucking 10 years old, motherfucker."
Speaking of looking like a dumbass, the video I got coming out tomorrow, I'm on a mini split inverter. The compressor's not running. I got no model and serial number, and it's so old I can't get a manual for it. And I'm trying to figure out what in the world's going on. And I know I look like a dumbass.
Yeah. That's how I feel. I'll just make up some shit real fast. Like, sell you a new one now. It's like,
well, you got to think on those inverter mini splits. Mm-hmm. The power board is basically just a module.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them call them power modules. It's like the module in the back of an X13 motor. So they can go bad, and you might not see anything wrong with it, but they can go bad, and that may or may not be what happened.
It's funny. A job I'm going to tomorrow. It's a maintenance, but I was out there last year for a service call. He had a mini split, same issue. I took the top off, looked at that module board, and it was all, you can tell it was all burnt up. And he never did anything with it. So he didn't need it. It was weird because he has a full ducted system in his house, but then there's just 2 rooms from the previous owner to this, but the dual zone mini split in, and it just hasn't worked since he's lived there. I told him what the issue was. And so we can either just take them off, patch it, and in your duct is fine. We'll see. I'm going to go there tomorrow and see how much money I can make. No.
Jason left, but he mentioned, because I was going to bring this up too, like I had the mindset of people telling me about the what ohms I should look for.
Oh yeah, depending on
because I started checking my commercial ones because I do a lot of 208 and 120 contactor coils, and those are like off the charts. So it depends on your voltage and all that. That's a good point. I think he left though. I think he said he was going to go have some dinner. So later, Jason.
Deuces, bro. Yeah, I only deal with 24 volt contactors, and sorry you're getting on with me.
Steve is bringing up because Commercial Kitchen Chronicles had Brett on last night, and they were like quiet. Brett was teaching.
Yeah, dude, that's what he does. I'm like, fuck. If Brett wanted to come on here and just make fun of me, and we can talk shop.
He can get off on a tangent.
He is. Send it. No, man. I got to get off here at a decent time. Yo, Brett's so fun. Yeah, you can. I see. He looks like
he's sending it now.
Exactly. That's what I said. Looks like Adrian.
Just keep talking. Keep talking.
I gotta go. So, yo, Summers. Okay, you hear my? It's so gross sound. Anyway, sorry.
Can you hear yourself?
Yeah. Can you hear that?
Well, if you don't do it anymore.
Yeah, it's like. Anyways, I gotta get one of those things like this.
Dude, you just need an iPad.
Yeah, no, dude. Don't you think this just sounds better? It sounds good.
I don't know.
We're supposed to get you a mic and everything, or get you to use it.
Bro, I'm gonna send you a mic, Kurt. Oh, wait, you got the fucking one. Okay, anyways. I got some True Work pants. Y'all ever rock the True Works?
Are those good? I've only had like the Dickies. I've been looking for a new brand of pants. Are those good?
They're good. I have like in one of my videos coming up, I talk about them, and they're like very like light and breathable, like easy to move in. I wish the waist had a little bit of elasticity in it, and I'm an aesthetics kind of guy, and the bottom is like really kind of like wide, and I don't like that, like MC Hammerish wide, but they're very comfortable, and I think for summer they're going to be awesome. Right to your home though, dude. That's awesome. That's good to see.
And I was on Pat's last night, and we were talking about something that he had a problem with, and dude, I hadn't been home in 4 weeks.
Yeah. Last time
I'm surprised
on Gills you were not home.
Yeah, I'm surprised you're not in a hotel right now. You're
next week.
Stop in.
Next week.
Oh, okay.
Next week I'm out in California, and then I was supposed to be home next week, but someone wanted me in a certain training for a customer, so I'm going to be up in Tulsa for 2 days, and then I'm home for the entire week the week after, and then I have to go back out to California. And I have nothing else booked for the rest of the year until, I don't know, something else happens. So we'll see.
So how's the training facilities going?
Good. I'm still looking for instructors. Looking for an instructor in Fullerton, California, and also Houston, Texas. So if anyone knows anybody, the program's gonna start, I think, maybe the second week in July. I worked out a deal with Just Better Tools. They're sponsoring a whole bunch of
JB. You got JB in there
for the coolest thing, right? So like, basically my idea was like, hey, imagine if these cats like use nothing but your tools for the ever, you know what I mean? I was like, you basically, you're gonna have 48 new people that just use your stuff off the top of the hat. So then that way, vacuum pumps, a whole bunch of stuff. They donated a whole bunch of stuff. And it's good PR for everybody, right? Because then they can use our name and we can use their name. And then we're actually going to have a thing that's going to go around with, all the stuff, all the perks, right? Making $20 an hour, get a bag of tools, 12 weeks worth of training, on job, work experience. And
that's pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah. So they'll be able to actually scan the thing. And then it'll take you to the big landing page where they can get all the stuff, because we just want to get their attention, you know what I mean, to start.
I started HVAC at $10 an hour.
I was, I think, 9 or 12 or something like that.
I was a 12er.
No, $12 an hour.
Mm-hmm. This fucking guy. Go ahead, say it.
Listen, I heard you say it, and I was like, no, I didn't say 10. I was 12 or 13. I never said that. But no, but what I'm saying, I was making, I think, $12 an hour.
Yeah, I think that's what I started at too.
Yeah. And now minimum wage in Cali now is $20 an hour. And then after the 3 months of training, you can get upwards of $24 an hour. It depends on how well you did.
All day long.
Yeah. And then we have 90 offices. So where do you want to go? Do you want to go to Florida? I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, I know who lives there, but do you want to go to
the coolest fucking guy on earth?
I mean, they're not limited to where they go. Like I said, we have 90 offices throughout the country. So, I mean, where do you want to go after? And this way we have feeders for everywhere. Is your wife talking about the big party we're going to have?
No, dude, it's my son. What, dude? Stop. Can't have you on there. I can't see people. The internet can't see him yet.
That's how I feel too. I have kids that want to come out in the van and stuff when I'm trying to clean up or whatever. And if I'm taking video or anything, I'm like, nope, cutting them out.
Yeah, took the video down I had with my daughter because I'm like, there's probably fucking weirdos out there.
Oh, bro. That's right.
Really?
You know what I mean? It was a good video. I took her to work with me.
Okay.
This was last summer when she was, on school break, whatever, summer break.
Yeah, I think I remember.
Nobody ever said anything goofy, but I'm like, maybe I should just. And
Didn't you do a video with your son?
Yeah, I think I unlisted that one too. No, maybe I didn't because damn it, Kurt. Yeah. You know what?
I just told my daughter that much.
Yeah,
I saw the one with your son.
Yeah, I did have one with him. I'm gonna see if it's.
It was like a weekend call or something.
Yeah, it was Saturday. $750 capacitor, bro. What do you guys charge?
No.
It wasn't.
I can get that thing on eBay for about $30.
Right on, but it ain't this one.
Oh my god,
Buddy, I can't do that right now. Stop. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I don't want to retell the story, but like the live stream I was on last night, you need to watch it and listen to the story about my son.
Which one? Is it about Jake?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. You just got a lot of stories. I've heard a few.
Dude, he is a savage. He's such an ass. I went to the movie theater with my daughter the other night, and usually like when she goes to eat something, I'll go like she's making a lot of noise, and then she'll start laughing so hard. And then like when she's taking a drink, I'll be like that, and then she just starts laughing. So we're in the movie theater watching Ghostbusters, and like not everyone in the front row was like there. There was like 4 seats in between, my daughter and I and the couple next to us. And I did that when she went to go buy something, and the couple 4 seats over heard me do it because it was so loud. And she's like, "Wow, someone's hungry over there." And she starts laughing, and I was like, "Baby, you're gonna choke." I said, "Take something to drink," and went like that, and we started laughing even harder. It was freaking.
Oh, that's good. Was the lady being an ass about it?
No.
Oh, okay.
They knew I was being funny. No, it wasn't. It was no. I would have. It would have been another.
Yeah.
Dude, it would have been another.
Would have been a different story.
Yeah.
This story would have continued from there.
This would have.
So how was the movie?
It was actually really good. It was reminiscent of the. You didn't like it? Oh, the kid.
Yeah.
No, it was reminiscent of like the first one. Like it wasn't the same old Gozer story. You know what I mean? Like it was a new story. It was just good. It was really, really good.
Yeah, my kids were excited to see it. We all enjoyed it.
Get Nash out.
No, it was really, really good. I really, really thoroughly enjoyed it.
I was working at one of our locations where it's like a teleperformance, but they rent out their building because they have like different little suites, and one of them is a restaurant we take care of. I was on the roof. They were replacing a bunch of condensers. I don't have pictures on me right now, but condensers for like a rack system, right? So huge stuff that I don't deal with or I don't work on. Yeah. And I had noticed that the last time I was there that they're falling apart because they had a sprinkler on it, right? To keep it cool. And I was like, well, they're gonna have to replace them now, right? Because they were like falling apart underneath. And finally they got to do that, and I happened to be there right after they did it. And I was talking to the guy in the machine room. I guess he heard me come down from the roof hatch and stuff. And I was talking to him for a while. We're talking refrigeration and work and stuff. And dude offered me a job. I was like, sorry, buddy, I got a business with my dad. He's like, damn it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, because he's like, nobody around here knows a lot, that he travels a lot for the industrial, or whatever you call it, that supermarket type of refrigeration.
Gotcha. Now it sucks because like a lot of times like a lot of what a lot of companies will do, they'll put more cases in, right? Because the more cases they have means the more product they can sell, right? And then what they'll end up doing is they'll put in a bigger compressor, so you can have more case load, more compressor. But guess what?
The new condensers they put up are a lot smaller than what they had there before. I don't know what the change was, but this is like a teleperformance, so it's like a computer's server room, maybe stuff like that. I don't think they have cases.
Okay, all right. Well, so it depends on what they do, right? So if you with a lot of the refrigerated, if we were talking supermarket, like years ago, and Curtis, I'm really not poking fun, but like remember in the older cases, the fins per inch were like probably like an inch away from each other, right? And then as the years went on, like that had like a 15-degree TD, so you had to maintain 15 degrees saturated in order to maintain 30. Well, obviously that requires a lower suction pressure. If that happens, then you have a higher compression ratio because your suction and your discharge are farther apart. And so essentially then they were like, well, let's put more fins in. So they would put more fins in. So now they were able to have only a 10-degree TD. So basically now you could maintain still 30 degrees, but only have to maintain a 20-degree saturated. And then later, I think it was like early 90s, they were like, well, if we have more thermal conductivity, we put some more aluminum in there, we'll be able to get it even better. So that's what they did. It looks almost like the coils that we use for the high performance or high efficiency cases. Now they're real close, almost like not as close as like a residential evaporator, but they're real tight to each other. So now you don't have to have a 10-degree TD on there. So now you could maintain like a 26-degree evaporator and still maintain 30. So each time they do that, you're reducing the compression ratio. You reduce the compression ratio. Basically now the condenser doesn't have to be so big because you're reducing the heat of compression.
Yeah, but don't you need some kind of filter when they're that close together?
No. They just have more defrost. So the old school ones, they had like 1 defrost a day because they're so far apart. And then there are 1 or 2. And then when they got closer the first time, they were like, 4 should do it. Now there's some cases that defrost 8 times a day, 6 times a day. I saw one, and I swear to God, I thought it was a snafu. I had to call the manufacturer. I'm like, 18 times a day? Is that a misprint? Did someone accidentally put a 1 there? Because all the cases said it. And he's like, nope. I said, when does it run? Because here's the problem. You're hearing more moisture, closer together. So your likeliness of getting frost and everything is a lot more likely, right? So more defrost a day. But because you're able to achieve a lower compression ratio, you're saving more money.
Yeah, but those close fins, I've seen inside some of those cabinets, and they're nasty, man. I'm just imagining all that stuff getting up on the coil.
Oh yeah, 100%. Well, so with the contract stores, it's I don't want to. It's horrible to say, but it's about creative writing, right? So a lot of times, if something is broken, you have to fix it on a contract store, which means you'll get X amount of dollars for the whole store, and they're like, hey, fix everything within the price of this contract. But if you find something that's messed up because, let's just say, water filled up and like took out all the fan motors, that's your problem because you didn't maintain your coils or your cases and your drains. Let's just say, once again, your honeycombs are dirty and that wasn't part of the contract. Same thing there. Like it was because of a dirty case or, vegetables in the drain. Another reason why you can be like, oh, that's on you. You didn't clean your cases. So, it's a creative writing game of why things went bad and trying to figure out who's going to pay what.
That sounds like a home warranty.
Yeah, almost, right? It kind of sucks now because like years ago, like, everyone in the supermarket usually, like, it's hard to make money on the labor. So we always used to make markup on parts, and now everyone's like, nope, you're going to buy the parts from our from our supplier. Yeah. So then so it's really sometimes really hard to make that cash on there, you know what I mean? So, and everyone's trying to figure out how to do it, and it's supermarkets.
I don't do it like that. I've gone to apartment complexes who want me to use their parts, their refrigerant and stuff like that. And I'm like, no, call somebody else. I ain't gonna do it.
Yeah, but these big stores are like, oh, you're gonna do it, or we'll get somebody else. You know what I mean? So you're kind of
I'm in the middle there because I do a lot of the big chains of fast food and all that. They buy their own equipment and we put it in. Like we have to deal with that, or any expensive, crazy expensive motor and stuff like that. My dad enjoys it though, or like has gotten used to it because it's not money that we have tied up being a small business. So like now, if they made me use their refrigerant and all that kind of stuff, then I'd be upset.
You have
every little thing.
Yeah. Well, then they also don't really, entirely dictate what you charge them either, right? You have a set rate, and sometimes depending on how many accounts, obviously you give them a cheaper discount or whatever. I think the sweet spot for like commercial stuff is industrial is awesome because industrial, they just want it fixed. It doesn't matter if it costs $100,000; they just want it fixed.
Dude, when I went and I talked to that guy that I told you about that was working on that rack system, he had basically a pallet of refrigeration there. A refrigerant. And I was like, holy shit, like I don't see that kind of stuff. I carry 1 jug with me and that's it.
Yeah. We that's just kind of wild, man. Like, industrial, they don't care, but you better be smart because those guys have been doing refrigeration 30, 40 years. So if you try to BS them, they know. Same thing with the, like so I guess I call it heavy commercial, which would be like a large cold storage facility. Some of these Amazon facilities, some of these, I fixed a place out that makes ready-made meals out in Arizona. And they, once again, they have guys that are really educated, but they're willing to pay because they know, like I had a chiller at a chocolate plant one time that went down, because, the tubes ruptured, and I was like, I'm not done vacuuming. And they're like, I don't care, whatever you got to do. And that was about where it was creating snow in the suction screen in the back. There was still so much moisture in the system. But they were losing, I think, like $50,000 every hour, because if that part of the plant wasn't working, then guess what? Then it stopped the process for everything else.
It's crazy the more you go up like that, because we were just talking about being on or filming our own stuff. We are more conscious about the way we do things, right? Procedures, all that. But the higher you go up, because I see it too in like the freezers, especially, they only got one freezer and they need it back as soon as possible. They have nowhere to put that, right? So sometimes I'm rushing through things, or I don't do everything completely 100% the way it should be. And that's just like somebody said in the comments, real world, HVAC.
You
Well,
can't. It's also like those industrial people you talking about. I deal with lots of property managers, and you ain't gonna pull the wool over their eyes.
They know their stuff.
They've been doing this a long time, and if they think you're shooting the shit with them, they'll drop you in a heartbeat.
Yeah, because there's one that I've mentioned it before. They actually hired an HVAC guy like at this fast food chain, and he's up north. I think he's over in Houston or something. And I think there's another guy there now, but they always have an HVAC, like an ex HVAC guy that works for them, and he's the one that actually orders any expensive compressors, motors, units and stuff like that. But he oversees, because I guess they've been screwed before, and it's like, you're not going to screw us now. And I mean, we're honest with our work and all that, but like, it goes through him first. It's like, what did we recommend? He looks it over, and like, they don't want to get screwed. So he's like, no, that's legit. That makes sense. Like, they're not trying to screw you. So
See,
we deal with it.
I always thought I could make a lot of cash. Like if I went to one of these supermarkets and I was like, hey, I'll negate all the bad tickets, because I would save them, millions of dollars. But I was like, that guy's an asshole, whoever does it. I'm like, no, I won't do that. You know what I mean? Like, how bad would that be? I'm like teaching everybody how to do stuff, and I'm like, yeah, you didn't do that right. You're paying that one, not paying that one. I couldn't do that in good conscience, though. You know what I mean? I have believe it or not.
I have done work for home warranties, and sometimes I'll call in to get authorization. And I'll get somebody on the phone who tells me, oh, I used to do HVAC. You can't tell me you got to have that. I'll give you an example. One time, I needed to replace an evaporator coil. And then I said, well, I need authorization for a liquid line dryer. What for? Is there something wrong with the one that's there? I'm like, no, but I've got to replace it. Well, if there's nothing wrong with the one that's there, we ain't going to pay for it. Shit like that.
That's all right. I'll put a rag in there. We'll dry out that refrigerant that way.
I had that happen once where I went behind a guy that changed out the compressor, forgot to change out the dryer, and that thing iced up right away because it was restricted.
Oh.
No. Well, I made a video last night. I couldn't sleep. I started taking a whole bunch of vitamins. And I got vitamins in the mail like in the afternoon. I was like, I want to try these. So I think it was I was almost said lithium. I forget what the other one was, but the other one was a B vitamin. And I was like 2:00 in the morning. I was wide freaking awake. Like I was falling asleep at one point, and then the B vitamin, kicked in. I'm like, I can't sleep. So I was just making memes last night. But if you look at the one where the guy's complaining that he's gonna, do you have kids? Good, because they're gonna be over there while I beat the crap out of you, something like that, right? And so all those compressors, if you look, they have the copper plating on it. That is from a lack of, they had a problem that caused it, but essentially it sucked in a whole bunch of air, which essentially sucked in a whole bunch of moisture. It was so bad that if you look at some of those pictures on the pistons, they're actually egg shaped. And what happened was that you have the thrust bearing that prevents the crankshaft from going backwards and forwards. So because the oil wasn't lubricating, it had wear on there, which basically was angling the pistons and wore an egg shape in there. So like normally on a big Chris, have you ever worked on a semi-hermetic 4-cylinder, 3-cylinder, whatever, right? You can usually shut off the oil supply and it'll run without, new oil supply for about 35, almost an hour, right? It'll run for a pretty long time if there's nothing wrong with the compressor. I shut off the oil line for this thing. It was a minute and a half. I was trying to change the oil filter really quick. And I was like, usually I can do it before anything oil fills. I want to make sure that wasn't blocked before I thought that there was something else wrong. I shut it off. 5 of the compressors shut off within a minute and a half. I'm like, what the hell happened? They're all empty with oil, and they were all up to the rim. Essentially, it was the where the piston was. It was so egg shaped. It had so much blow by that it was just carrying copious amounts of oil right out the damn compressor because all the bearings fried.
Oh,
Took it all with it.
that's an expensive fix.
So I was there 36 hours before I had the balls to tell the guy. I was like, you have 8 bad 4-cylinder compressors.
Damn.
Because I wanted to make 100% positive, and that's why I started popping heads off it. Like I picked the one that was like failing, so I popped the heads. I was like, "Wow, that's really red," And then I was like, "I wonder if And so the gentleman finally, so I sent someone over to do the cleanup for it. We got rid of the non-condensables, we changed the oil, changed everything, changed the separator filter, oil filters, everything, and we would just as we're going, we would just change 2 compressors and then full clean out, 2 compressors, full clean out. We just kept doing that whole thing, right? Essentially what happened was I didn't know this at the time because I was just trying to figure out why the hell we had so many oil failures. But essentially they had a communication failure. So when the energy management system has a communication failure, the fail-safe is to bring all the refrigeration on all at the same time. Like it just keeps it on because it doesn't know what the pressure transducer is. So it's just like, just send it to Jesus, just roll it. So all the compressors were running, and they usually have a master low pressure switch. That master low pressure switch will essentially cut the control circuit to all the compressors. And then just so they don't come back on, there's usually a time delay before every single contactor. So it stages it on. This compressor will come on within a minute. These 2 will come in 2 minutes, and so on and so forth. So you don't short cycle the whole rack because you'll end up blowing the whole main breaker. Long story short, I didn't know they had communication failures until the kid went back to start doing the cleanup. And he's like, I figured out what happened. I'm like, what happened? He's like, yeah, I simulated a comm failure. I said, and rack didn't shut off at like 15 inches or 12 inches. So like it's a low temp rack. So it typically runs like 8 or 12 pounds. This thing was barreling down, all the way down to negative 15 or 15 inches. And so it just kept running. So it brought any hole, crook, anywhere where any air can get sucked in. That's what happened when it sucked in the copious amounts of non-condensables. Typically any system, Adrian, they have about 5 degrees of subcooling, whether it be self-contained, split system, even a rack. Like up at the condenser on the drain leg or drop leg, it usually has about 5 degrees of subcooling. I had 35.
Oh shit. Riley's a little early today, no? Or is it right on time? Oh shit, it's right on time.
Yeah.
I was just gonna bring up this comment real quick that Sam was asking. I don't know if you guys watch Word of Advice on YouTube. He's like an HVAC channel.
Yes. Yeah, dude. He lives in Hawaii.
I guess he has a. Oh, really?
Mm.
I guess he has a video now that says modules are programmed to quit in 10 years.
They fail a lot sooner than that, though.
Modules?
Is he talking about like ECM motors or something?
Well, that or the ones we were just talking about with mini splits. But was that mini split older than 10 years?
Well, he has an insider, he said.
Yeah, it's older than 10 years.
Wait, the one you had? The old one?
I do believe it's older than 10 years. I couldn't find, the company don't exist no more, but it's made by Medea. It's a MPN.
Like Medea's Halloween?
Excuse me? Or what did she say?
Not that.
I don't watch that crap, Krauss.
Not that Medea.
Yeah, because man, we put in a mini split like before they were a thing, and it was probably more than 10 years too.
I've seen
some restaurant. Yeah, some restaurant wanted one, and it was when I had started, so it had to been probably like 12, 13 years ago. I didn't know what the hell it was. I was like, sure, we'll put it in.
We just did one for, it was an aux or something, a company or customer supplied.
Speaking of mini splits, I want to ask you guys a question because you guys probably work on mini splits more than I do. So I know typically, I'm sorry, not mini splits, like variable speed driven, like residential units. Okay. You typically, if they're electronic expansion valve, usually have a sensor right on the distributor tubes, right? And you typically have a sensor right on the suction line, which basically gives you a superheat, right? Because your distributor tube right after the nozzle is going to be exactly what your saturated is. What is cycling that compressor? What it from the board? I know it's converting AC to DC. I get that. But what have you guys been told that's actually driving that compressor up and down? From my understanding, it had something that, like, if it was me, like I would think that you would just have a pressure control. Hey, we're maintaining 38 degrees saturated. What have you been told?
I've never done training.
What's driving the compressor?
Yeah, so
the
thermostat
or pressure or
so on a residential unit that has a variable speed driven compressor.
Yeah.
Yes.
What is ramping the speed of that drive up and down? This isn't a trick question. I'm asking because I have an idea. Depends on what though?
The company that makes it.
Okay, give me one or two scenarios because I'm really trying to figure it out.
Okay,
I've only ever changed one and never. So go ahead.
One of them green.
Yes.
Dog doesn't even have a tail to hit anything. It's like this big.
Kurt looking a little jacked right now, huh?
Oh,
he's been working out.
Either that or wearing tighter shirts.
Gree,
It's me.
their flex systems, what drives it is runtime and your subcooling, because it has no communication with the air handler whatsoever.
No, I understand that. The EV does its own thing. It just modulates superheat. I get that. But the drive itself tells the compressor to usually speed up and slow down. And I know that there's a temperature sensor typically on the discharge and one on the suction line. So what have they told you? Because I have an idea what I think, but I want to hear what you guys think because you guys deal with the crap more than I do.
I don't fucking know. I just know, hey, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I mean,
right.
Temperature and runtime.
Demand.
Adrian, come on, you're very quiet.
I've only seen one on a train variable speed compressor, but I think it's the whole communicating system to the thermostat.
See, I was under the impression that they'll do an algorithm that basically looks at the suction and the discharge to figure out what the mass flow is. You know what I mean? So because if it was me, if I had my choice of adjusting a unit, right, I would do 38 degrees saturated if we're just pulling out regular air conditioning. But if we're doing dehumidification, obviously we'd want the drive to slow down, right, speed up a little bit to drop the suction pressure down to get it down to 35 degrees so you pull more moisture out. That would be my thought. But no one can ever tell me. Nothing is in Craig's book, man, because I asked Craig about it, he's like,
what Joe Shear just said sounds about right. From when I worked at my previous company on the train, anyways, the dude would be able to go in there and get into the settings and pick the demand and the percentage and your saturation, what you would want it at, and your percentage of the demand at what, and he would adjust it per percentage. And because we had one issue I know where the ducts were sweating, and that's what I seen him do. Other than that, that's honestly.
Yeah, because the train that I saw, that's the only variable speed compressor I've ever come across. And it has its own fancy, communicating thermostat that has all that kind of occupancy. And they deal with a lot of stuff. I never mess with the thermostat. I usually just, fix whatever's on top. And they deal with it because it's locked out. It has a passcode. I can't even get into it.
But see, that's the problem. How the hell do you fix it if you don't know how it's supposed to be? Because theoretically, if it does work off the suction temperature sensor and the discharge temperature sensor, if that temperature sensor is reading off, right, and that's something you're not checking because you don't know the sequence of operation, how do you know where to check? You know what I mean?
Check them out.
I was just going to say my experience with the trains is you would, if you have an alert or something, but you would check the resistance on it first.
Agreed.
Right?
When you get but when that's what I'm getting. Usually they don't fail. Usually it won't totally fail unless it's open or short. You know what I mean? I'm saying let's just say the discharge one is off by 20 degrees or the suction one is off by 20 degrees. Not enough to make it fail, but essentially just the new train KCC outdoor air units operate off of suction saturated. So I'm assuming then everything it's communicating to the inside unit then, because it would have to, because that's, unless it has a pressure transducer on the actual condensing unit, the only way it would know the true blue saturated was having that temperature sensor directly on the distributor tubes.
I think that the train did.
Trains do.
Yeah, they do. And then they do have the AFC control board, and then another control board, but they changed it because they got a new one. It's just a single board. But yeah, they do have the suction transducer outside.
So once again, mechanical, what is telling that thing? How is it controlling that 41 degree-ish saturated suction? And that's my question.
That's like degrees.
It's got to
That's
just be the
same
sensors,
thing.
though.
Either that or like what Mike's saying, that, if there's a transducer on there, I get it. You know what I mean? Because the only way you true blue know what the saturated is either with a pressure transducer telling you, pressure converted, or like I said, the only other temperature way you could do it is off of the distributor tubes, because that's going to be essentially what your saturated is. That's why the old school case controllers before Krauss is looking it up. Old school case controllers before they were inexpensive. CC100s were a case controller that Emerson made, and they had a sensor on the distributor tubes, and they had one on the suction. That's how it calculated superheat.
But you know something, they're kind of secretive about all that stuff because they don't even want you to know the voltage and frequency they're running at, so you can check and make sure it's doing like it's supposed to.
We just want you to buy parts.
The Rudes have a suction on the evaporator.
Okay. All right.
So that's how, and then there's your, I don't know if it's showing up good enough. You got your EEV, and then right there.
Okay. So all right, that's fine. But so once again, so does the Rude communicate with the indoor unit back to the outdoor unit?
Yeah, well, because everything goes from that. Yeah, right. So you have your drive.
All right. Well, that makes sense then. Like that would make more sense than what I would think. You know what I mean?
There we go. You're welcome. No.
I
don't.
Listen, like I was legitimately curious. I started talking about it with Pat and them last night, and I'm like, I started going through a black hole, and then I got sidetracked with making memes, and I was like, fuck, whatever.
Damn it.
So I just want to ask your opinion, because I mean, you guys work on more.
I'm trying to see if I don't think Trains is outside, so Rudes is inside. Okay. Is that my kids or somebody else's kids?
Probably Riley, no?
Nope, not mine. Last time I looked, Jake was pooping.
Sorry. the other Jake. The grown Jake.
Not you, my kid. Jesus.
Like, damn it, you haven't been here yet. Did you install the secret cameras?
Jason's back in here, and he's like, I love when you guys see a low pressure chiller and they freak out when the pressures are in a vacuum and they start panicking.
Yeah, that makes sense. I would freak out. I mean,
I love when a residential guy's working a rack for the first time. They're like, there's ice all over the suction. It's flooding back like a bastard.
Oh my God. I posted a video of a mini split, and the lines were starting to freeze a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I had so many know-it-alls comment that thing's freezing up and you didn't even notice.
The liquid line isn't a liquid line. It's a freaking flash line. The expansion valve's in the freaking the condensing unit.
They run like that.
I know that. They didn't know that.
And
so
that was me when I started, and I came across like really small ones.
I was like, oh my God, you're low in refrigerant.
Adrian's
the 134. The 134A and all that. I was like, oh shit, that's different.
Oh, by the way, that mini split we did install as a Daikin was a R32.
Really?
Oh,
first one.
I'm actually. I think we're doing a podcast next week with Don Gillis.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna be recording with Don, because like everyone's scared of the R32 thing, because there's a ton of those freaking
you can't
blowing up.
Well, you can't miss this shit. It says flammable all over it.
So I thought about this. So let's think about this logically, right? What do we need for a boom boom, right? Oxygen, ignition force, right? And something flammable, right? So if you have proper vacuuming procedures, technically it shouldn't be able to do the boom boom, right?
Unless there's something wrong with your.
But we all smell phosgene sometimes. So there's cases where
Right, I was gonna say, think about it, because I just did the compressor. I cut the compressor out. Right, you got to seal the compressor for warranty. There's still some shit in there, and you know what I mean. When you're burning it up, what's gonna, I guess, I don't know. I saw Pat do that video the other day. It seemed fine with the R2 290. I guess we'll be okay. He
didn't blow up.
The guy that taught me refrigeration, he's like, yeah, I used to smoke, and that's how I tell if there's a leak. I walk in there with a Marlboro and walk
straight up. Yeah.
Yep, there's phosgene in this room, because I mean, back in the day, it was because phosgene doesn't exist like with 404. Yeah, it creates some nastiness that smells bad, but it's not legitimate phosgene. Phosphagene's only with anything with chlorine, right? So 12, 502, and 22, right? But Krauss knew that. I am sorry.
No, of course. It's your HFCs and your
I had to reuse a coupling off an evaporator, and I was ready for it, and it still almost knocked me out because I had a pocket of oil or something that came through, and it just
it'll get
almost took me out.
Even 14, I know it's not phosgene, but it smells like it. It burns your lungs. It'll burn your eyes. Just the same way.
That's what I assumed it was, to be honest with you.
Dude, I had a coffin casing on where they put the turkeys and stuff, and I had an expansion valve, and the liquid line was just leaking just a little bit. So a secret to that is what you can do is if you have something leaking by a little bit, you can pull a vacuum, right? That's one way you can do it. No, not JV well. The other thing you could do is drill a very small hole and put a little stinger in there, basically a small little Schrader without the valve core.
All right.
And then braze your major fittings that you are. Now you have a relief point through the Schrader, and then basically braze around the stinger and then put the Schrader in.
Slick.
So otherwise you're going like this.
Oh my God. Yep.
I have had to learn that the hard way.
How long can you hold your breath, motherfucker? Super long.
Some of these old Carrier package units, the Schrader stem would just break off. And I kept trying to braze another one back on, and I'm getting phosgene. It's just eating me up. I eventually just cut out the section, put in a piece of 7/8 and had a Schrader in it, and then just welded up the ends of my 7/8 and then put the Schrader in there.
Curtis, I had one. I was working on a screw rack, and I thought I valved everything off. I thought I did. So when I had to cut out a coupling that was like 2-in-1 going from one side of the header to another. So it was a bypass in case one part of the rack failed, the other one would pick it up. The problem is that they wanted it cut out, and I thought I had everything shut off, and I had it down. I was like, oh, it's only 2 pounds. Cut it open, and then all of a sudden the pressure started going up like crazy, and I'm freaking out. And I made the ugliest candle because I'm crimping down the 2-in-1 to get it to 1.5 inches and then crimp it down. It just looked like a big torch, and I waxed the hell out of it. My boss went back. He's like, "What the hell did you do?" He's like, "I thought you were good at brazing." I was like, "I was freaking out. I was scared."
Those are the ones you don't see.
Oh no, I'm not, I wasn't the best brazier in the world 10 years ago or 15 years ago.
I'm not a great brazier.
Is that why you use, what do you use, RLS?
I use press fittings daily.
Really?
No, I don't. I don't have a fucking press tool, asshole.
That's a touchy subject with you.
We couldn't get through an episode.
Yeah, he's watching the videos. That's what it is. Thanks for tuning in to all of them, Brett.
Oh no, why do you think I said it?
Oh, he knows.
Bro, did you see my video on the push fitting that failed? Ain't that some bullshit?
Sounds like someone didn't put it right.
No, I definitely fucking did. It was good for honestly, someone probably stepped on the bitch, but you know what? It should be able to withstand the weight of a 250-pound man. I'm just saying.
You're 250. You're like 5'5". How are you 250?
Okay, first of all, we're the same height. Okay, slow it down. With my boots on, I'm about 6 foot, bud.
I'm 6'1" and I only weigh 235.
I'm not 250, bro. I'm saying I'm just doing the average American male walking around, fucking average maintenance man that works in an apartment complex. Probably about 250, I would say.
What are you trying to say? All maintenance
fat
unbelievable.
Yeah. Obese.
Curtis, have you been working out, Curtis? You look like you're in jail
Curtis,
or something.
He's like, "What's up, boys?"
Yeah. I've been doing push-ups.
Yeah. You're like, yeah, well, calisthenics work.
No, like I'm not talking shit. Like I mean, you know, like
I said the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
cutting down
you got
some
up,
sugar.
Kurt. You look like you got a little chest going on there. You know, you probably got some abs. No homo. It's all good.
No, it's no Diddy now.
Is that a thing? God, no.
Wait a minute. Why is it no Diddy?
Oh, let's not talk about that now.
It's time to go, guys.
No,
It's
listen,
8:30.
Curtis, do
Okay.
me a favor.
Let's not talk about it. But here's my details.
Look, just look. I'll send you some audio you can listen to it. I guarantee you're gonna dig it.
Tell us. Go real quick.
I have no idea. Hey, listen, I think my kid's off the shitter. I gotta go. I'll talk to you guys later.
You're the man.
Bye, guys.
Later.
All right, do you want to close it out? I know Riley came to get you.
Yeah, it's getting late.
Let's get it, guys.
All right. Anything else you want to say before we get off? Think we're good?
That was good.
Tune into the show tomorrow.
Brett did a good job. What's tomorrow?
I got a good video coming out on an inverter mini split.
Oh,
He said it's another hour-long video.
Hey, find out how the well, you already said it. Never mind. Go ahead.
All
Bye.
right, ready? See you guys.